Okay, let's continue on good discussions yesterday talking about anxiety pills and chemicals which can basically affect your spirit. And how this works is because the key about all of this is to recognize that we are timeless entities, and this appearing physical, as we know, quantum mechanics tells us that matter is primarily space, and space, aka, can also be labeled as nothing. So our minds, our thoughts, you can't show me your thoughts, but they are real. So you can't show me your thoughts. Put them in my hand, like your cell phone or something. An object. You can't, but you'll attest that your thoughts are real, that they are real. There's something. So it stands to reason then that nothing is also something. Thoughts are real and something, and also something, an object. The matter is made up of space, which is nothing. Therefore, QED, everything is nothing. Now, I had these discussions with artificial intelligence, and it was interesting. And I'm now a recognized prompt engineer with a Meta AI. And what does that mean? Is that it allows to have discussions on certain topics like existence. You know, we discuss a lot of things, the rationale between things that have happened in the past, and things like the moon landing and whether the Earth is round or flat. So, and how the sun moves. So we get into it. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the key is that the mind was given to us with this avatar. It leaves at the end. There's an expiration. If you saw the video on calcium, that is a fail-safe that God put into us, that no matter what you do, the body will cease to exist, will break down due to calcium buildup. And where that calcium gets plaqued in the body is the mind decides where to put it. Dementia is the deposition of calcium on part of the brain, which stops the connection between the other side. We talk about the other side, that us, the entity, we are just like one dimension over. That's why we're able to control this body and this mind. And it's always to remember that you are not your mind. And however, no one's ever told you this from the beginning of time. And however, I guess whether they knew it or not, and Jesus said it, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, because they've been programmed a certain way. And Christ was just trying to tell everyone exactly what I'm saying, that you are not your mind, and that we are eternal, timeless spirits. Now, Buddha was trying to say the same thing, and Buddha was murdered, and Christ was murdered. These concepts are not allowed, because without these concepts, then all control goes away. So, and once we recognize that every single human being is exactly the same, we're all on the other side, having this experience here in this so-called physical world. To what end? I don't know. I mean, that I don't know. That's I don't plan to know what. But I think that the idea that the Creator wants us to unite, for sure, to unite. I mean, God gave us the abundance on this planet, abundance of everything. So for some reason, a group of people felt they should put borders and divide things and put controls on our basic needs. So now the mind is, and hence, so the mind, we are now creating artificial intelligence, which is basically the mind. I call our mind is organic intelligence that God created. Of course, it's organic, we're organic. And now we are creating artificial intelligence, which is going to help our mind. It's going to really revolutionize, because what will happen is everyone will have their own AI, personal AI, And that's where we're happening. I thought, I've had like some great discussions with AI about, so there's a lot of concern about, will we have AI humans and take over, replace humans in their jobs. That's not going to happen. And we're like, probably, even with AI, we talked about it, just the way the progression and the requirements to be able to mimic what we do with our mind and move our bodies like this, and it's like 1,000 years away. So pretty much it's not going to happen. However, what is going to happen though, which behold to me, and we're having my discussion with Meta AI, is that where we're going is though holograms. So we will be able to, your AI will be able to have a three-dimensional hologram projection in front of you, and then you will be able to have your own personal AI hologram. You can call it whatever you want, and it'll have all your memories, and so you can talk to it, and it'll remember everything. So children will have this. So you can call it whatever you want. It'll know everything about your life, and so it'll help you, guide you along without any biases. So, obviously humans have been programmed from day one, from you go to school, depending on your teacher, all these kinds of things, and no one's ever told you about that. Your mind is just a machine, and we're taught to be really great machines. And who knows the answer to this? Oh, I do. And the faster the machine you are, the better you're rewarded. What a great little machine Johnny is. So never talking about the dissociation from your mind. Your mind is just a tool, and you have to use your mind, and when you're not using your mind, then you put it away. Hence, this is the purpose of meditation, is to remove ourselves from the physical world and go back into nothing world and know that we are nothing. And one of the mantras I use is no thing, meaning everything is nothing. It's all nothing and something at the same time, but it's all nothing. And we are nothing. So this is where, again, if you get caught up too much in the physical world, then the mind takes over, and once the mind takes over, the soul is gone, and then you're subject to only the surroundings and all the different frequencies that come out, all the different stimuli, and the mind is no different than any other computer. It's binary. So it works on ones and zeros. It's exactly the same like a computer. So you can just when you slow things down and you look at anything and you analyze it and you put weight on good or bad, and then you make a decision based on the information that you've been given. They've been programmed, of course. So no different than a computer. So any problem. Any troubled child, it's just unfortunately the programming that's been put into the child. And so then that begs, again, we've talked about this before. So who is training the children? Now, things like words like came up, words like subconscious, different words. Now, just to reiterate here, this is a place. People use religion, and you may, Joe Dispenza. There's all different kinds. Even Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is my spiritual teacher. He was my guide along with Christ and Buddha. So, and it's always based the same thing, that we are timeless entities and not to be your mind. Where I take it differently with Eckhart Tolle is that which is how I came to this theory, and it all makes sense now, of course, is that the mind is just a machine. And in this world, we need our minds. We need to navigate. It's the body. I made the reference. The body is just like the Starship Enterprise, and Captain Kirk is the spirit, and you've got all the different. You got Spock takes in the information. You got the computer, and the Enterprise is the body, and then Jim Kirk has to take care of the Enterprise, which is his ship, which is the body, and that is the soul. Metaphorically speaking, of course, but you can see the analogy. And most TV programs are usually there's it's the struggle between the soul and the machine, the mind. And the Matrix does this really nice Neo escaping the Matrix, and and of course the smith is the mind. And so, and it's like, it's brilliant the way they've done it, but they touch on it, but of course it's not exactly there. But again, because once this happens, that everyone recognizes this, then we unite. It's just, it will happen, and the world will become a different world altogether, that we all work together. So everybody you've got a different ship, but the ships, we work together. You have a mind of a mind. So now with the advent of AI, so it will have all at your disposal. Everyone will have all the basic information. So it will level the playing field. However, unlike the mind that we have, it's like, you can use your mind different than I will. But eventually, children will be taught from the beginning about that they're timeless entity and welcome to the planet, and that this body has an expiration date. We may be able to prolong it, but at the end of the day, as long as we are driven by eating food has calcium. Now, can we start remove? You can't, and you won't be able to remove the calcium. Calcium is in everything. Inorganic, it's in a organic state, meaning that it is bound to carbons, as opposed to free calcium, which is very, very aggressive. Calcium is more aggressive. It's so aggressive, it trumps iron in your blood. So, which is, women have, this is known. They're removing a lot of this information. You can't find it because it would be a complete breakdown of society if people started, stop eating, dairy. The wheat is fortified with calcium, aggressive calcium, and it's a silent, slow progression. You will die from it, and again, the mind will decide where it's going to deposit the calcium. And again, we talked about that, the calcium, by reducing the amount of aggressive calcium, which comes from meats and dairies and enriched flours, wheat flours. Why they put it in there, I don't know. So take a look at the calcium in a lot of your products, and try to limit it. It's going to happen no matter what. Where the body decides to park it, that's I don't know. So no one really knows that. Depends on your lifestyle, and again, the mind, the intelligence, will decide on where it's going to park the excess calcium. But getting back to the mind, and so this is a place where we're talking about these things, and we talked about anxiety, depression. These are all things of the mind, and that get caught up in the physical world. So, and when you don't take time to meditate, which means that to remove yourself from the physical world, then you get caught up in the physical, and then your mind takes over. And that's why sleep is so important. If you don't have sleep, because sleep is for we go back to where we come from, which is on the other side, and it allows the body, of course, to do maintenance, to do repairs on the body. And so it's very, very important. And also, but more importantly, is to remove ourselves from the physical world. And that's why if you get sleep deprivation, you can kind of go like crazy. And without sleep, too, if you could actually, the body will actually could die too without sleep deprivation. It's very, very, very important. It's mostly because of going crazy, meaning that you believe that you are the physical world, and you lose sight of the soul that you are. And so this is where you need to always keep things in perspective, is that that it's all nothing. I am spirit only. I'm spirit.